Hey, greetings everyone. Glenn Calloway from the basement. I am here today to give a review of a recently released album that I picked up yesterday. Chicago live at the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, Washington D.C. 9/16/71. Triple CD set. But before I get into that, I just want to talk a little bit about Chicago. My whole Chicago thing is really focused on the first two albums. They're two masterpieces as far as I'm concerned, and really rank high in my list of all-time favorite albums. Um, I kind of gave up on them after that. At one point, my friend Robert Hagerman said, "No, you really got to hear Chicago 3," and it's really good. So I did buy that, and it is a pretty good album. So the first three albums. After that, I have nothing. Um, I really, really despised the collaboration with David Foster when they had all those syrupy hits, and yeah, and Terry Kath. The sad passing of Terry Kath. He was around for quite a few albums, though. I think maybe him up until 10 or 11 or something like that. Maybe someone who's deeper in their catalog can let me know that. But anyway, the first two albums, when the first album came out, in 1969. It was like so different and so mind blowing good and so full of so many great songs. And who would have thought us, 69, I was 16 at the time. Who would have thought I'd be into horns and stuff? I mean, I was into guitars, man. I would listen to Led Zeppelin. I'm in Jimi Hendrix, and this came out. Now, of course, Terry Kath plays some great guitar on this, but that's a lot of horns. And then Blood, Sweat, and Tears came out. The first Blood, Sweat, and Tears album is amazing with Al Cooper, but I wasn't a big fan of Blood, Sweat, and Tears with David Clayton Thomas. So, although that was when they had their most commercial success, but this album and then the follow up, Chicago 2, are both brilliant. And I actually like 2 better than 1, but I think two's considered the class, or 1's considered the classic. Um, the reason I like 2 better is because I think it's a whole album in its entirety. It's much stronger. Uh, Chicago Transit Authority, while has the better songs, it also has some like freeform guitar. How often can you listen to freeform guitar and that whole the whole world's watching thing and everything? Like, it just I could have lived without that. This would have been a great three-sided album. But 2 is absolutely brilliant. And in a couple of years, I don't know how many years ago now, Steven Wilson actually did a remix of Chicago 2. And it just came in a basic thing. They didn't make a big deal out of it, they just reissued it. But the Steven Wilson remix is fantastic. And this is the CD that you usually find in the store these days. Just that cardboard, real basic thing. They never made a big deal out of it. But if you're looking to buy this album and you get this, it sounds amazing. Chicago 3, as I said, good album. Chicago 3, I even have the hype sticker. Have it on CD as well. Now, live Chicago, never saw them live, but there's an interesting story in Toronto before I get to this thing. When they played Toronto in the early 70s, now if you grew up in Toronto, you know it was a very, very, I don't know if we want to say religious town, but it was, there is a lot of laws, like you couldn't do this on a Sunday and that on a Sunday. Uh, the subway system and everything closed down at like midnight, Sunday night. I don't even know if it was on till midnight. Like it was just a real sleepy, even with all the great music that was coming out of town, how vibrant that whole the music community was. There were these archaic rules in the city. One funny one was that you couldn't buy a beer on a Sunday unless you ordered food. I kid you not. And I think that rule wasn't changed until the early 70s. Um, so if my buddies and I met up for a beer in a restaurant or we had, I think it was the restaurant, more the restaurants than the bars. The bars probably didn't have to serve food. Maybe the bars weren't allowed to be open on a Sunday. I don't know. But if you went to a restaurant and you wanted to order a beer, you had to order food. So we would get an order of toast. Nobody'd eat the toast. We just wanted to drink the beer. Anyway, uh, that brings me to a Chicago concert, which is quite famous. They were playing at Maple Leaf Gardens. A friend of mine actually went. And they didn't show up right away. They got held up at the border. Now, the promoter, whoever, announcer, everything, came out to tell the people in the crowd that don't worry, Chicago promises to get here and put on the show of a lifetime. So people sat there for hours and hours and hours. Chicago made it to town, set up. I don't know what time they played. They came on stage, but they played like forever. And then at like middle of the night or dawn or whenever the hell it was, 16,000 people are exiting Maple Leaf Gardens with no way to get home. It made headline news. So pretty weird. Anyway, Chicago Live. I have some interesting Chicago Live stuff. As my buddy Randy Nelson says, you love your live albums. I do love my live albums. I picked this up on Record Store Day a few years ago. Chicago Live at the Isle of Wight. This is from 1970, I think. This album is fantastic if you can ever find it. Now, sound quality, it's okay. It's listenable. I wouldn't say this is going to blow your mind how great this sounds. It's listenable. I'm going to give it that as a grade. But oh man, they're on fire. Terry Kath has played some amazing leads on this album. Fantastic record. Let's look at the vinyl, just because everybody likes to look at the vinyl. I don't know if this was just a limited release or what. Came out on Rhino. They've also released a couple things on CD. I'm not sure if these were available on LP or not. Chicago Live in '75 at the Capitol Theater in Largo, Maryland, and Chicago Live in Japan. Now, both of these sound great. Excellent. So let's get to this. Chicago. Kennedy Center. Okay, so this came out a couple of months ago. I put it in my cart in Amazon, and it was $32. Triple CD. $32. I thought, I'm going to wait and see if the price changes or whatever. And I was at my local mall store, and it was $39. And I thought, well, 32 is pretty good. Then when I went to order it, this Amazon.ca I'm talking about, jumped the price up to $52. And that's where it stayed now for the last month, probably. So we're at the mall yesterday, and we're looking for, Christmas stuff and everything for the fam and whatever. And I just thought, damn, I'm going to go look and see if that Chicago CD's still sitting there. I'm buying myself an early Christmas present. And I went to Sam the Record Man at the Belleville Mall, and they wanted $39.99 for it. Then I went to, I said, nah, I procrastinated. And then there's another little small Sunrise Records store in there, and I walked in there, and they had it for $37.99. And I had a $10 bill in my pocket, and I thought, well, if I just use the $10 and pretend it was just a gift card, now I'm at $27.99, so I bought it. Brought it home, listened to it yesterday. Now, I put the first disc on, which the first disc was, I'm going to say underwhelming. I was kind of disappointed. I found the mix on some of the songs kind of muddy, and wasn't a lot of separation in the instruments in certain tracks. And the performance seemed a bit, I don't know if it was the way they mixed it. It just didn't seem real vibrant and lively, Then I thought, I hope this whole thing is not like this. And I put on disc 2, and disc 2 is exact opposite. It's freaking incredible. The playing, the separation in the music. It was, I don't know. I don't know if it was the original when the soundboard tapes or whatever tapes they used to record this. I'm not sure if they had issues and that the recording engineer had problems getting certain tracks to sound good or whatever, but side two is just incredible. Fancy Colors, It Better End Soon is just amazing. Like the playing in that song. Saturday in the Park, In the Country, great guitar work from Terry Kath. Um, they made one point in this song. It's a long CD, long concert. They made a comment to the audience that we're going to play a Fillmore concert for you tonight. Now, a Fillmore concert meaning that there was no hard close time. You just play until till dawn if you wanted to. And they really put on a show. Third disc is really good too. With does anybody really know what time it is? And I'm a Man, Free, and ends with 25 or 6 to 4. But overall, side one, if I was basing this on side one, I would have given this like a 6 or out of 10 maybe. But after listening to side 2 and 3, considering the whole thing, I mean, I'm really liking it. It's really good. If you're a Chicago fan, you should check this out. It's amazing. So that's it for now. I'm waiting for a delivery from Amazon today. 10 years after, live at Woodstock, the complete performance, their complete set. How good is that going to be? Amazon in Canada had a sale, so the vinyl, which I'd rather have. I kind of feel like I get known as a CD guy more than a vinyl guy, but the only reason is because of the money. Like, that's it. I would rather buy the vinyl, but who can justify spending the 10 years after album on vinyl was $49 with tax, $57 to get it here to my door. Talking Canadian here, and the CD, Amazon had it on sale for $17, $17.12. Cost me $20, like $20 versus almost 60. I'll take the CD every time. Sorry, I'm not a snob. It's all about the music for me. So, yeah. So I'm waiting for that. Really excited. Definitely come back and talk about that. And everyone have a great Sunday. We'll talk soon. Let me know your thoughts on Chicago. Take care.